Did you know that in 2025, some of the most popular countries are actually turning British passport holders away at the border? Yes, you heard that right. Imagine planning a dream vacation to the US or Australia, only to be stopped at customs, told you're not allowed to enter. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, it's happening, and it's happening more often than you might think. With stricter post-Brexit rules, new security measures, and some countries' growing frustrations with UK immigration policies, British travellers are facing major setbacks. But it's not just about paperwork or visas. There's a bigger shift going on that could completely change your travel plans. Are you at risk? In the next few minutes, we'll reveal the top 10 countries where UK passport holders are facing serious hurdles in 2025. Stay tuned, because you'll want to know if your favorite destinations are on the list before it's too late. Number 10. China. China, once a dream destination for travelers, has become one of the most difficult countries for UK passport holders to enter in 2025. With the ongoing political tensions and increased security measures, British nationals are now facing a much more complicated entry process. While China remains a fascinating place to explore, the growing entry restrictions mean that a simple vacation might require much more effort than before. First, let's talk about the visa requirements. To enter China, UK citizens can no longer just show up with a tourist visa or hope for a quick approval. Now you'll need to go through a more thorough and lengthy visa application process. In fact, the Chinese government has implemented stricter rules, and you must provide additional documentation that wasn't required before. For instance, you might need an official invitation letter from a Chinese organization if you're traveling for business purposes, and certain leisure visits now require more extensive background checks. Beyond that, you'll also be expected to submit biometric data, including fingerprints and a digital photograph. The application process is detailed and time-consuming, so be prepared for delays that could derail your travel plans. If that wasn't enough, there's also the risk of not being allowed entry even if you have your visa. This could happen if Chinese officials feel that your intentions for visiting aren't clear enough, or if your visa has even the smallest discrepancy. With the current political climate, border officials are now more likely to question UK passport holders, especially if they are unsure about your travel motives. So, if China is on your list of places to visit in 2025, make sure you give yourself plenty of time to navigate these new hurdles. Don't let a surprise denial ruin your dream trip. Check your visa requirements and ensure your documents are spotless before you even think about booking your flight. Number 9. Russia. Russia, a country rich in history and culture, has become one of the most challenging destinations for UK passport holders in 2025. Due to political tensions and shifting diplomatic relations, entry requirements have become increasingly stringent, and British travellers are facing more roadblocks than ever before. One of the biggest challenges is the visa process. Unlike many other countries, Russia doesn't make it easy for UK citizens to enter. To visit, you'll need to secure a visa in advance, but not just any visa. You'll require an official invitation letter from a Russian entity, whether it's a hotel, business partner, or even a friend. This step can add days or even weeks to your travel preparation time. Without this official invite, you won't even be able to start your visa application process. On top of that, the Russian authorities now require detailed travel plans, including exact dates, locations, and the purpose of your trip. The level of scrutiny has significantly increased, with border officials having the power to deny entry if they feel your documentation doesn't align with your travel intentions. This makes the entry process not only time-consuming but also stressful. To make matters worse, there are reports of heightened questioning and additional paperwork upon arrival. Even if you have all your documents in order, you could still face further delays at customs. So, if Russia has been on your travel bucket list, it's essential to start your preparations early and be meticulous with your paperwork. Failing to do so could result in a wasted trip and a denied entry at the border. Have you ever experienced issues entering a country due to visa complications or political tensions? Share your story in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated with more travel tips and important news. Number 8. Turkey. Turkey has long been a favorite destination for British travelers, with its stunning landscapes, rich culture, and vibrant cities. However, the travel experience for UK passport holders is changing in 2025, and not in a way that many will enjoy. While Turkey is still a popular holiday spot, the new entry rules are making it more of a hassle than it used to be. One of the main changes is related to Turkey's visa policies. It's no longer a straightforward process for British citizens to just hop on a plane and get a visa at the border. Instead, travellers now need to apply for an e-visa before departure, and the process has become more rigid. The Turkish government has introduced more checks, and errors or discrepancies in your application could easily lead to delays or even a rejection. This means that your plans might be upended simply because of a small mistake on your visa application. Additionally, Turkey has started implementing stricter checks at airports and borders. It's not just about your passport anymore. Turkish officials are increasingly focused on verifying your reasons for visiting. Whether you're heading to Istanbul for a weekend getaway or exploring the coastal regions, you could be questioned more thoroughly than ever before. This heightened scrutiny is causing frustration among UK travellers who are used to breezing through entry points. But it's not only the visa process and border checks that are causing trouble. Turkey's tourism industry has also been impacted by rising costs and bureaucratic delays. From hotel bookings to tour reservations, travellers are finding that booking in advance doesn't always guarantee smooth sailing. All these factors combine to make Turkey feel like a much less accessible destination than it once was for Brits. As alluring as Turkey still is, navigating the new barriers could take some serious planning and patience. So, for those hoping to visit in 2025, it's a good idea to prepare for some extra bumps along the way. Number 7. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, known for its vast deserts, stunning architecture, and rich history, is becoming an increasingly difficult destination for UK passport holders in 2025. While the country has always been a sought-after place for those interested in the Middle East, its entry policies are changing and British travellers are now feeling the effects. One of the major shifts in Saudi Arabia's immigration policy is the strict enforcement of tourist visas. Historically, it was relatively easy for UK citizens to visit Saudi Arabia for tourism or business. But now travellers must apply for a special tourist visa before arrival, and this process has become more complicated. The government has introduced additional requirements, such as providing proof of hotel bookings, detailed itineraries, and even health checks. The visa approval process has become more selective, which means travellers could face delays, or in some cases, outright rejection if they don't meet the strict criteria. Additionally, Saudi Arabia's customs and border control procedures have become far more rigorous. UK citizens can no longer expect a smooth and swift passage through the border. With increasing security measures and stricter questioning, UK passport holders are finding themselves scrutinised more closely than ever before. The nature of your visit, whether for business, tourism, or even religious purposes, can significantly affect your chances of entering the country. And it's not just the border that's becoming more complicated. Saudi Arabia is also tightening its policies around travellers' conduct while in the country. New regulations require tourists to adhere to more specific cultural norms and behaviours, with severe penalties for violations. While Saudi Arabia remains an incredibly unique destination, the hurdles UK travellers face to gain entry are increasing. So if you're considering a trip to the kingdom in 2025, make sure your preparations are thorough and your documents are in order to avoid any surprises at the border. Number 6. Japan. Japan, a country known for its blend of ancient traditions and futuristic technology, has long been a bucket list destination for travellers worldwide. However, in 2025, UK passport holders will find it a bit harder to explore the land of the rising sun. With tightening entry restrictions, the ease of visiting Japan is being replaced by a more bureaucratic process that could catch many off guard. The first major hurdle is Japan's increasingly detailed visa process. Although the country still offers visa exemptions for short-term stays, UK citizens can no longer expect a quick, hassle-free entry. More and more, the Japanese government is focusing on the purpose of your visit. Whether you're going for tourism, business, or cultural exploration, you'll need to provide clear evidence of your intentions. This means supplying extra documentation, such as proof of accommodation, an itinerary, and, in some cases, even invitations from Japanese hosts or businesses. What makes Japan's new entry process particularly challenging is the thoroughness with which authorities are scrutinizing visitors. UK passport holders may face increased questioning at immigration checkpoints, with officials asking for detailed explanations about their travel plans. Even if your visa is approved and your paperwork is in order, there's no guarantee you'll get through smoothly. Japanese border control is notorious for its strictness, and an official could easily decide that your visit isn't in line with their regulations, leading to potential denial of entry. In addition to the visa and documentation issues, Japan has become more vigilant about security, implementing new biometric data collection systems and health screenings for travelers. These measures, while understandable given global concerns, add another layer of complexity for UK citizens looking to visit. Japan remains a fascinating destination, but if you're planning a trip in 2025, make sure to check your visa requirements early and prepare for a more intricate entry process than ever before. Number 5. The European Union. Travelling within the European Union has historically been a breeze for UK passport holders, but since Brexit, things have changed, and not necessarily for the better. In 2025, Brits may find it increasingly difficult to move freely across Europe as the EU tightens its borders and implements stricter entry requirements. First, let's talk about the visa-free travel arrangements that were once available to UK citizens. Following the end of free movement, British travellers can still visit most EU countries for short stays of up to 90 days within a 180-day period. However, this doesn't mean it's as simple as it once was. The introduction of the ETIAS, European Travel Information and Authorization System, means that UK passport holders will now have to apply for travel authorization before even setting foot in the Schengen area. While this is an electronic process, it comes with an application fee and could take time for approval. A denied ETIAS could lead to a rejection at the border. What's more, since Brexit, some EU countries have started to impose additional checks and delays at the borders, particularly in popular cities like Paris, Barcelona, and Amsterdam. The days of breezing through customs without a second thought are gone, as border guards are now more likely to scrutinize travelers from the UK. It's not just about showing your passport. Customs officers may now ask for proof of accommodation, travel insurance, and even evidence of sufficient funds to cover your stay. Failing to provide these documents could result in lengthy delays or even denial of entry. In addition to stricter documentation checks, the increased focus on security and immigration controls has led to longer waiting times at airports and land borders across the continent. So, while Europe remains an easy destination for UK passport holders, the entry process in 2025 is far from straightforward. Planning ahead and ensuring your documents are in perfect order is essential. Number 4. Canada. Canada has always been one of the most popular destinations for British travellers, offering everything from the stunning Rocky Mountains to vibrant cities like Toronto and Vancouver. However, in 2025, UK passport holders are finding that it's becoming a lot more complicated to get into the country. New entry restrictions and a more stringent approval process could put a damper on your travel plans if you're not prepared. The first major hurdle UK citizens are facing is the Electronic Travel Authorization (ETA). While the ETA has been a requirement for some time, it's now being enforced much more strictly, and the approval process has become more meticulous. If you're traveling for tourism, business, or a short stay, you'll need to apply for an ETA before boarding your flight. This process requires you to fill out an online form, provide your travel details, and answer security-related questions. While the ETA is generally approved within minutes, errors or discrepancies in your application could result in delays or a denied entry. The Canadian government is now scrutinizing applications more thoroughly, and even the slightest mistake could jeopardize your trip. Additionally, border control procedures have become more stringent for UK travelers. Even if you've obtained an approved ETA, you could still face intense questioning upon arrival. Canadian border agents have become more vigilant in checking the purpose of your visit and may ask for detailed proof of accommodation, return flight tickets, and the financial means to support your stay. Any signs of doubt, and you might find yourself detained or turned away, even with the necessary documents in hand. Finally, Canada's entry requirements for travellers with criminal records or immigration violations have also become more restrictive, meaning those with past issues could face even more difficulty entering the country. So, if you're planning a trip to Canada in 2025, don't leave your application to the last minute. Make sure you've got your ETA approved well ahead of time and be prepared for a more thorough entry process than ever before. Number 3. New Zealand. New Zealand has long been a dream destination for travelers, with its breathtaking landscapes and unique culture. But for UK passport holders planning a trip in 2025, the entry process has become much more complicated. The country is tightening its border security and travel requirements, making it crucial for UK travellers to plan ahead. One of the most significant changes is the stricter passport validity rules. New Zealand now requires UK citizens to have at least 6 months of validity on their passports from the date of entry. If your passport doesn't meet this requirement, you could be denied boarding or entry, even if you have all the other documentation in place. This is a crucial detail many travellers overlook, and it could potentially ruin a well-planned vacation. In addition to passport validity, New Zealand is also introducing more detailed checks at the border. While UK citizens previously enjoyed relatively quick entry with just a valid passport, the new policies now involve a greater focus on health and safety. Travellers may be asked to provide medical certificates, especially if they are arriving from regions considered high risk for infectious diseases. Even routine health checks or flu-like symptoms could delay entry. Moreover, there is an increasing emphasis on proving the purpose of your visit. Whether you're traveling for tourism, business, or to visit family, you may be asked to provide detailed plans, such as flight bookings, hotel reservations, and a clear itinerary. New Zealand authorities want to ensure that tourists aren't overstaying or engaging in unauthorized work. For those planning to stay longer, applying for a visa is becoming more time-consuming. The application process has become stricter, and the likelihood of denial has increased for UK passport holders who fail to meet specific requirements. To avoid complications, it's wise to start preparing for your trip to New Zealand well in advance. Ensure your passport is valid, all documentation is in order, and be ready for potential health screenings at the border. Number 2. Australia. Australia, with its stunning beaches, vibrant cities, and unique wildlife, has always been a top destination for UK travellers. However, in 2025, the process of entering Australia has become much more stringent, and UK passport holders are facing new challenges when it comes to getting past the immigration counter. The primary hurdle that many UK citizens are encountering is the visa application process. While the Electronic Travel Authority (ETA) used to be a straightforward and quick way to gain entry, things have changed. Australia is now enforcing more comprehensive checks before approving an ETA, and travellers are finding the application process more time-consuming and tedious. Applicants must now provide additional documentation, such as travel plans, accommodation bookings, and proof of funds for their stay. These new requirements are a direct response to rising concerns about illegal immigration and overstays. Furthermore, even if you do secure an ETA, don't expect the border to be a walk in the park. The Australian Border Force has ramped up its scrutiny of UK travellers, especially those who have a history of overstaying their visas or travelling to certain countries. UK citizens are now facing longer questioning times and more rigorous checks upon arrival. Border officers may ask detailed questions about the purpose of your visit and demand to see proof of your return flight, hotel reservations, or even additional financial information to verify that you have enough funds to support your stay. Beyond these new entry hurdles, Australia is also cracking down on illegal working and overstays. In the past, UK travellers were often allowed to work casually while on a tourist visa, but stricter enforcement of this rule means that many will be turned away if they don't comply with the conditions of their visa. If you're planning to visit Australia in 2025, make sure you allow extra time for visa approval and be prepared for more intensive checks when you arrive. Planning ahead and ensuring all your documentation is complete will be key to avoiding delays or denial at the border. Number 1. United States. The United States has long been one of the most popular travel destinations for UK passport holders, with its iconic cities, diverse landscapes, and world-class attractions. However, in 2025, things are getting tougher for British travellers heading to the US. With heightened security measures and more stringent immigration policies, the ease of entry that UK citizens once enjoyed is no longer guaranteed. The biggest challenge that UK passport holders are facing is the tightening of the visa waiver program, which previously allowed British citizens to travel to the US for up to 90 days without a visa. Although the VWP still exists, the approval process has become more complex. UK travellers are now required to submit more detailed information during their ESTA, Electronic System for Travel Authorization, application. This includes providing detailed travel itineraries, answering more security-related questions, and providing background checks. These additional requirements can delay the approval process, and a single mistake or oversight could result in a rejection. Once you've received ESTA approval, that's not the end of the road. US immigration at airports has become more stringent, with customs officers more likely to scrutinize UK travellers, even those with approved ESTA applications. Travellers may be asked questions about their purpose of visit, length of stay, and even their finances. The US is putting a higher emphasis on ensuring that tourists don't overstay their welcome or engage in unauthorized activities, so you'll need to have solid documentation, like hotel bookings, proof of funds, and return flight tickets to avoid suspicion. Additionally, for those visiting the US for business or longer stays, applying for a visa has become more difficult. The US Embassy has increased wait times for visa appointments, and the process has become more competitive and complex. If the US is on your travel list in 2025, it's critical to apply for your ESTA well in advance, prepare for more detailed questions at the airport, and ensure your documentation is thorough to avoid any surprises. If you've made it this far, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you encountered any travel hiccups lately? Share your experiences in the comments below. We're eager to hear from you. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to check out our previous one for more travel insights. We pour a lot of effort into creating content like this, so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It's just one click and it helps us keep bringing you valuable info. Thanks for your support.